Pete here with the Small Business Resource Center and the Small Business Resource Center YouTube channel. This video is basically about Nio. NIO is the ticker symbol, and why I would not recommend investing in it. So if you're looking for this type of stuff, smash a like button, subscribe, and if you're a continued member, thanks for coming back. Well, basically, President Trump, he signed executive order that any stocks involved with the Chinese government or stocks that don't have viable financials that can be proven need to be delisted from the stock exchange. And the main reason why, if you did not see the video that I promoted more than once, those people come from Pennsylvania, by the way. Maj, he's a great trader. He's actually from Skip-Pack. I don't believe he lives in Skip-Pack anymore, or maybe he doesn't full time. But the movie's called China Hustle. Basically, these Chinese companies, what they do is they have some of them are shell companies that don't do anything. They have all false information. They put out a lot of press that they're making money and doing things, and they don't. The stock gets pumped up. U.S. investors put their money into the stocks, then they just go bust or whatever, or they just keep falsely operating and they sell stock to people. So this should be illegal, and they've done this a lot of times. Actually, it is illegal, but they get away with it. So that being the case, we have to look at a couple things. Number one, what happens to a stock when it becomes delisted? When a stock becomes delisted, that company is required to give you the money, or you can actually still trade the stock. But if you can't trade it on the regular stock exchange, it's very, very difficult to trade. So the question is, who's buying this stock? Virtually nothing. So most investors will tell you a stock, if it's not being traded on the stock market, a legal stock market, is virtually worth nothing. Unless it's some new IPO or something big's happening. But if it gets delisted, it's virtually worth nothing. And, you know, I want to say that Nio, and this is not a reflection on all Chinese people. I'm not against Chinese people. I have Chinese friends and other Asian friends. Well, actually, so just so you're aware of that. But China has a reputation of taking other people's ideas and kind of making them their own. So they have Nio Day, which, you know, Tesla has Tesla Day. They, in my opinion, are kind of modeling Tesla and kind of saying they're doing a lot of things. Whether they're doing them or not, I don't know. And I understand, but in my opinion, this is more a scheme rather than a reality. So when we're looking at Nio here, Nio is controlled by the Chinese government. It fits in perfectly with the type of companies that Trump will not allow to be traded. So, and this was on the news that 4 companies were going to be delisted from the stock exchange, and so to be transparent, it actually just got reversed. It says New York Stock Exchange says it will no longer delist 3 Chinese telecom giants. And it's kind of surprising to hear this, but when you read other similar articles, I don't know if this was a political move, but Xi Jinping, as well as other people in the Chinese government, they basically said they were not going to, they were obviously complaining because they don't want them removed, and they said that this order was not transparent, and so they were not going to comply with this at this current time. So that's going to leave it for the next couple weeks or something, that maybe it will, they'll be on there. But could they come off next week? Could this change later today? I would have to say yes. And but it says that some apps have taken steps to comply, so you got to keep that in mind. And Nio falls right into line of that. Nio is government controlled. So, well, I don't know what you want to believe, because obviously I don't have any money in Nio. So just to be transparent, and I thought of investing in it, but when I'm looking at this and I analyze what's going on, I'm saying to myself, is there a chance of having a near-term profit? Yes. Could it go down? Could it get delisted and be worth 0? I don't personally want to take a risk like that. Nio Day, what can happen? The stock can get pumped up and then the next week it could go to zero. So you're either potentially going to make a little money in the short term or potentially lose everything, or you could buy high and then lose everything. Either way, there's probably more downside risk than upside risk when it comes to that stock. And well, tomorrow's going to be a big day because obviously, if you weren't aware, that it's probably going to be the biggest Trump rally ever in Washington, D.C., as well as the election's going to get contested. And I try to avoid that subject because YouTube have actually flagged channels, remove videos whenever you talk about that type of thing. But either way, this executive order signed by Trump, which says that they need to delist the stocks that are financing the Chinese government, could create a situation where eventually we may be in war with China. I had made other videos about that, but this is another, notch in the belt, which is going to be a negative for China and may cause China to cause some more reactions or potentially start war. And I know people don't want to look at that or don't want to agree with that, but you got to look at all the things that have been going on. Maybe I'll make an updated video about that. But there's a very high chance within the next 4 years that this can happen for a lot of reasons. Nio, my thoughts, this is not advice to buy or sell any securities, but I would be looking at that very sternly, as well as the Chinese telecoms. They may have even boosted up today because they all went down. But is this going to be sustainable? I don't think so with that executive order. And I'm really surprised that they still that they changed their mind. I think it's more political than anything else. But this is Pete with the Small Business Resource Center. Smash the like button, subscribe, and if you have any questions, comment below.